All right, so the Bulldog basketball team went 0 for 2 this past week with losses at Mexico at home against Grand Canyon University. That's not really a surprise. You figured they would lose at New Mexico. They don't really win there very often. Um, the final score was 83-74, and the score was a lot closer, in my opinion, than the game itself. I mean, it was a game that, if not for Deshaun Gorey, 31 points, he would. I mean, the final script is 23-12 Bulldog run. All right, they were not going to win that game. They, once again they lost 22 turnovers. Gorey, as I said earlier, had 31 points. Hopefully, we find a way to keep him. The Bulldogs got a lead at 7-6 with 15-14 left to go, and the Lobos said enough of that. Got on a 14-0 run. We were down in the second half. Got to a point where it was like 39-31. But again, I never really felt that the Bulldogs were going to win that game, and I felt they were in danger. Lobos led by maybe 20 with like 71-51, 4:56 to go. That's exactly what I mean. The Lobos were not in danger of losing. And again, the turnovers, 22 turnovers resulted in 29 Lobo points. I mean, that's really been the factor of the Bulldogs this year. They turn the ball over a lot, and it's really hurting the opportunity to get upsets that Wahlberg needs. They're better than last year, no question about it. Is it good enough to keep him? I don't know. I think this coaching staff needs a significant signature win, and they're running out of opportunities to do that until the Mountain West tournament. All right? So, it's our last year at New Mexico. I'm not going to miss them going to Lobo Land. Let me get over some real points right here. New Mexico had 18 steals, 21 fast break points, 42 points in the paint. Just every way you look at it, New Mexico dominated this game. Wasn't a surprise. Surprise. And it's just another example of the Bulldogs just not being a championship type contender to beat the top tier in the Mountain West. And if they can't be the top tier of the Mountain West, what are they going to do in the Pac-12 with the lack of deadweight? You're not going to face the Air Forces. You're not going to face San Jose States in the Pac-12. That's part of just dropping them. All right? I'm going to talk about it in a bit, but let me just get the recap of Grand Canyon University. Bulldogs lost 68-57, and unlike that game, the Bulldogs had a real chance to win that one, and I would argue should have won that one. All right? I mean, we got to a point where we were scored 11 of a run in the second half, got up 32-35, and even then we left points off the board. All right? I mean, with Goy fouled out, that was kind of all she wrote, but even then it was like we opened 1 of 11 on the field, which turned to 3 of 20. I mean, we were down 26-19 at halftime, but it could have been so much worse. I mean, what were we like? I think we only made like 1 3-pointer in the whole game. 1 3-pointer, like 1-16, or at the very least, the rest of the team outside of Douglas was even Douglas Lagore. I can't remember which one. It was a good crowd, a loud crowd, 6,400 plus. Coming off the Wyoming crowd week before, so people do want to support this basketball program. People want to come out for it. All right, you just got to give them reason to. And this basketball team in the past decade really has not done that at all. All right, now I saw people with Clovis West stuff on, so those are obviously Vance Wahlberg supporters. So I guess you have them coming in. But if you're a diehard Wahlberg supporter and you care about Fresno State basketball, you have to be objective about where they are right now. They've not beaten any team that you could say is the top tier in Mountain West. They did beat a team with the NCAAs last year, but with a different coach and so forth for transfer portal. They finished this week now, the 9-11 overall, 3-6 Mountain West play, tied for 8th. They're not going to play all week until Saturday. They're going to go at Air Force, which is 3-17, 0 for 9 on the year. So that's a game you have to win, you'd think, right? Right? But you never know. They could be due. Let me just go over some more. I know people have talked about the Lopes having more athleticism, and in some ways, I guess you could see that they out-rebounded the Bulldogs 47-31. But I mean, they had 17 rebounds, torn second chance points. Bulldogs had 9 offensive rebounds, 4 second chance points. But really, it was just about, I mean, how many free throws did this team miss? How many shots did this team miss? I mean, this is a team that lives and dies by the free. You know what I'm saying? And yes, this is a team that has, if they can make their frees, they can pull off these upsets. But against these teams, they're not. You know what I mean? So I think the ceiling for this basketball team at this point in the year, we can see, is getting to the quarterfinals in the Mountain West. I think that is just the ceiling. Win that first game, probably going to play in that Wednesday opening slot. Win that game. Maybe win that game on Thursday and get to the quarter rounds. I think that is the absolute ceiling for this team. We've seen them play San Diego. We've seen them play New Mexico. We've seen them play Utah State. They're not going to beat these teams in a tournament if those teams just play over their heads on straight. Just not going to. All right? Maybe they could beat Grand Canyon. All right? Who, in my opinion, is just a bunch of thugs. All right? They were dirty. They did this and that. I mean, jeez. It was just, I'm not going to miss, Pac's not going to want anything to do with them. Period, end of the story. But, very disappointing week for the Bulldogs, but a very predictable one offensively, objectively. Going to get a week to rest, go to Air Force, have to win that game to get the 4-6 and back to around 500, 211. If they do lose that one, then it's panic time for Vance Wahlberg, all right? And if you're an objective supporter of his and you are care for State basketball, you have to ask yourself, is this working? If the answer is no, then you have to make the right call. That's going to be a tough one. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on. This age of NIL, and you need money, and Wahlberg supposedly has a lot of money. He's got a brother who's like a big in financial. So we'll find out. Tell what's going on. But take this week off. Transfer portal is just about done. I'll talk about that soon. For now, go Dogs.